Okay, let's get started with the color wheel project. Hopefully you have all your images, the RoyGBiv. You'll probably need more than just RoyGBiv, but this is definitely a good place to start. And we're going to go to Adobe Illustrator. We're going to start a new file by going File, New. And instead of letter size this time, we're going to go with tabloid, which is double the size of letter, 11 by 17. Let's make sure that you're on inches. We'll hit OK, and that should be a good start. Let's go ahead and title this Color Wheel. Make it a little bit larger. Bold would be nice. You don't have to use this Myriad Pro. You can use whatever font you would like. I just want one that's going to be nice and bold. That one's pretty good. I'll stick with that one here. And some of the other students in the past have done little special effects with the color wheel. I'm not saying you have to. Make sure if you're going to use a gradient, it does need to be converted to outlines, and you can convert to outlines by right-clicking and saying Create Outlines, or you can use the shortcut Shift Command O. Shift Command O. That will convert it to outlines. Then you can do any of the special effects that you might want to do. There's the reflected text like I showed you at the beginning of the year. And then first we're going to start with a linear, the more scientific color wheel just below color wheel, just to be cool here. So I'm going to make a square. I'm going to make it solid black. I'm going to make a square. I'm going to duplicate it by holding Alt. So Alt, click, and drag. I'll select these two. Alt, click, and drag again. I'm going to select all four. Alt, click, and drag again. And then I'm going to do one more set of four. That should make 12 colors there. And I'm going to use this tool up here, the Align tool. I'm going to go to the Horizontally Distribute tool, and that evenly spaces them apart. Also note that I'm using a good amount of negative space around here. We'll go over margins and grid later on, but as a designer, as a graphic designer, you should understand good negative space. And this right here is almost good negative space. I'm okay with that. So now we're going to go to the color palette. Here's the color palette, and you do need to choose right here, Show Options, because you can't see all the options until you do that little down drop here. Otherwise you just see this. So choose Show Options and you'll see all the options here. And we're going to go ahead and make a linear color wheel. I'm going to start with this one. I'm going to make sure I'm on the fill, and I'm going to change this one to HSB. So we're on HSB. I'm going to take my saturation and brightness, put them both at 100%, and I'm going to put my hue, this is hue, saturation, and brightness, HSB. That's probably the best color mode that you can be in because it works both in HSB and CMYK. So I'm going to start with 0, 100, 100. 0 on the hue scale is red. So I want you to be aware of that. That is definitely going to be on the test. On the hue scale, basically this hue scale right here is a color wheel. This is the scientific version on here. When we actually make the real wheel, we're going to use a artistic version, one that Leonardo da Vinci came up with, and all the artists since him has been using this same artisan type color wheel. But up here we're going to go ahead and do a digital, the more scientific type of color wheel. I'll go to the next color here. I'm going to eyedropper this red, so we should have 0, 100, 100. But then we're going to move this over 30 degrees. 30 degrees. So then we'll go to the next one. I'm going to select this one. I just use the shortcut, which is the letter V for the move tool. And then I'm going to use the letter I for the eyedropper tool. And I'm going to eyedropper right there. Now this one is no longer 30. This one is going to be 60. And so forth and so on. I'll just hit V to go to the next square. V, I to eyedropper there, back to V. This one is no longer 60, it's 90, 100, 100. And I'm just tabbing to each one of these fields. So I type in 90, I hit tab, 100, 100 for the next one. I'll go to the next one here. I'll eyedropper this one. This one was 90, so this next one would be 120, 100, 100. Shortcut's not working for some reason. So this one is 0, 30, 60, 90, 120. This one would be 150, 100, 100. It goes 30 degrees for each one. So 150, 180, that, next one, 210, 240, 270, 270 degrees. We're almost all the way around 300. And last one will be 330. Everyone always asks me, where's 360? Because circles are 360 degrees. 360 is this one because it's also 0. So this one's 360, this one's 330, 300, 270, and they're just 30 degrees apart. So right here is a linear color wheel. It's also scientific. And I am a terrible speller, but luckily all these programs have spell check. And I'm going to change that to a capital L. We'll go to type. Sorry, it's under edit. Check spelling. Start it. Scientific. Didn't like that one. It did like linear. I'm surprised I spelled that right. Well, that's the end of this demonstration. I'll start showing you how to make the actual wheel with the photographs on the next video.